Hey, dualpreneur. Does your side business require you to get next to decision makers so you can make them clients or get clients? Well, my next guest is going to tell you a great strategy to get next to those decision makers to become your clients. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Tara Jackson, aka Madam Money, and welcome to the DUALpreneur Podcast. Hello, my guest, Patrina King, the beautiful Patrina King. How are you?
I am well. How about yourself?
Oh, it's the best day of my life. It's the best day of my life. Never
Excellent.
seen it be never seen it before. Have a chance to talk to you. All things are
Oh,
beautiful.
absolutely. Absolutely. Glad to see your beautiful face on the other side. So,
I
yes, it's a
know
beautiful
we have
day.
not seen each other in years. It has been literally years because it was
It
maybe a
has.
year before the pandemic started. And then,
Yep.
after the pandemic's been 2 years. And, we haven't seen each other face to face in years. So it's so
Right.
good to see you face to
Right.
face and to hear your voice. And I just wanted to make sure
Likewise.
everyone knew your story, and you have such a great strategy to get next to decision makers, if that's your
Yes.
business or that's who you're trying to get to. So, before we kick off, let's learn a little bit about you. Let's tell the world how amazing you are. So, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
So I teach women, and I say women, but professionals, how to play golf and how to use golf for business. That's it in a nutshell. We do it as a membership based organization. We also offer 90-day programs, 6-month programs, depending on how serious people are about learning the game and how to use it for golf, for business, not for golf. So yeah, we pretty much bridge the gaps between business and golf for professionals.
And that's very unique. You don't see a lot of women playing golf, and you don't see a lot of Black women playing golf. And so teaching people how to play golf, especially for business, because I love playing golf. I love golf. I love the game of golf, especially when I'm
Mhm.
stressed and I get to hit those, little white balls and imagine their faces. I mean, it's the best stress release
Amen.
ever. But but you meet some amazing people, and we're going to talk about that, of leveraging the game of golf as a strategy to get to different opportunities. But before that, before
Mhm.
you had this business, you were a dualpreneur. You actually had a full-time job, and you started your business. So let's talk about that. What did
Yes.
you do for your full-time job?
Yeah, dualpreneur is the way to go. So I'm happy to have this conversation. So I was in the HR field. I did recruiting, background checks. Well, I owned a background investigations company, and then I worked for one, and then after that, I went to work in recruiting in the corporate sector. And then, once you're entrepreneur, it's kind of hard to stay away from that. And so I ended back up as an entrepreneur. So HR was my background, human resources.
So you were HR, and then you decided to start this business, Golf Women Mean Business. So what prompted you to want to start a business while you were working full time?
Well, actually, one of our mutual friends, Miss Nancy Lewis, we're
Yes.
going to give her credit for Golf Women Mean Business, only because it was not something that I really wanted to do. And I don't necessarily want to say I fell into it. It was a conversation between her, because Miss Nancy is my mentor. So we were talking about, just golf and some of the things that I've done. And I was telling her the story about how I blew an opportunity on the golf course in my business. And then she just got excited, and she was like, women need to know more about this. Women need to play golf, and they need to learn. And I'm just like, Miss Nancy, I played golf all of my life. Trust me, women don't want to learn how to play golf. I'm talking to her like I know what I'm talking about because I never saw women out there. It was
Mhm,
all boys and men, growing up.
mhm.
And so she was like, no, I think they do. And I'm just listening to her like, uh-huh, yeah, I hear you, but whatever. So then she had me speak on her conference. She has a conference every year, and she
Mhm,
wanted me to speak on a panel about the parallels between business and golf. And
mhm.
so I took my talk from her conference and make the business plan for Golf Women Mean Business because it went over so well. At her conference, I had no idea women wanted to know how to play golf. I had no idea women thought there was a barrier to getting into golf. In my mind,
Really?
if you didn't play golf, oh yeah, I'm like, what did you do with your life if you were not out there? But then it didn't really make a lot of sense because I didn't see women out there. So of course they were doing other things, you know. So it's just something that never crossed my mind until talking to her, and then I started the process after her being in her conference, and then I had my job, of course, and here we are.
Wow. What were some of the challenges of starting your business or growing your business while you had your job?
So it's funny in the beginning you mentioned something about being a dualpreneur. There are not a lot of women. All of these things that people think of golf, there are not a lot of women, not a lot of black women. Those were challenges for me because and then also time. Because I was working full time, I could only really work with not entrepreneurs, but corporate C-suite level people because they had to work during the day. I had to work during the day. So we all were off in the evening. So I would schedule some trainings at that time. And then because entrepreneurs, they're better during the daytime if they needed to play golf. So that was a challenge, just trying to figure out my client base and all of that. And then just breaking into an industry as a business, not being the PGA, not being the LPGA, not being at the time it was the EWGA, Executive Women Golf Associations, not being those, just this black young entrepreneur trying to tell people they need to play golf for business. And so that is unfamiliar to a lot of people. So that kind of created somewhat of a challenge, but it was also a grand opportunity as well. So the figuring out clients, how to get clients, how to keep clients, how to make it, the clients is what makes the business. Trying to figure that out was a challenge for me.
Awesome. So again, I asked everybody is what were the advantages of being a dualpreneur at the time? And of course, a lot of people say the extra money, but what were some of the advantages of being a dualpreneur?
So I wouldn't necessarily call it extra money. Because I get, well, it could be for some people, depends on how you look at your business. For
Mhm.
me, being a dual entrepreneur kept me from operating out of desperation. I didn't
Mm,
have to settle for, certain things. I didn't need, or I really didn't want to be in a position where this huge corporate sponsor come on, they love what I got going on, but they're telling me what to do in my business. And so at
mm,
that point, you're no longer, I mean, you are a business owner, but your creativity and stuff kind of gets limited when you have someone, yeah, hey, here's 500 grand, but I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do with it, and I didn't
right.
want that. So ultimately, being a dualpreneur really kept me from operating out of desperation. I was able to make sound decisions, things like that. Just keep from compromising who I am and what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be in my
That's
business. So
good. That's good. I like that.
yeah.
That being a dualpreneur keeps you from operating out of desperation. That is the
Mm-hmm.
key figure because when you're an entrepreneur and your bills have to be paid and it's reliant on what money comes in, you will operate in desperation at times, even when you don't want to.
Absolutely.
But because your bills are being paid, you got that check coming in, you can still operate and make sound decisions. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Good
You can say
job.
no. Thank you. That
Exactly.
means a lot coming from you, by the way. So
The power of being able to say no, boy, you just don't know.
yes,
You do not have to be my
yes,
client. I can fire you as my client if I need to, so that's the power in that. So let's talk
yeah.
about some of the strategies of playing golf. One, you know, the question is should, especially Black women or anybody,
Mhm.
should they learn how to play golf? The answer, they can hear from you, is
It depends on what your business is. If you are looking to get, if your business requires you to talk to decision makers, for the most part, golf is where you want to be, because you're meeting people where they are. You're not asking them to come to you. You're in a setting where anybody could really be, and you're outside of working hours or all that good stuff. And you're meeting people in their quote unquote professional downtime, if that means anything. Like, you're still, remaining professional. You're in a professional environment, but it's your downtime. You're not talking about metrics. You're not talking about, short staff and who's not doing what. It's downtime. It's getting to know people, and you're meeting people where they are. It doesn't feel salesy and things like that. So if you need to get to people who play golf, you need to learn how to play golf. So that's going to be my answer.
Absolutely. So how I figured that out was I I was in relative sales, and the people that I go to, the CEOs, and
Mm-hmm.
especially with financial institution, I dealt with a lot of CEOs in financial institutions like credit unions, and so what I noticed in most of the offices, they had some golf paraphernalia. They had
Mm-hmm.
golf balls that they
Oh.
were gifted. That's a big one. They had pictures of them out on the
Oof,
golf field. There was something that clued me in
absolutely.
on playing golf. And because I played golf, it doesn't necessarily mean I was really good at it, but because I understood the game and I
Huh,
played the game, I was able to
that's it.
say, "Oh my gosh, you play golf? I do too. That's amazing." He was like, "Really?" And so that kind of broke the ice. A lot of them gave me golf
Absolutely.
balls for the next time I go play golf or
Hmm.
whatever. So we have that in common. And so when you break that barrier, now you have some type of mutual sport, if you will. Now
Yes.
you have the opportunity to break
Yes.
the ice and really talk about business. They're more open to talk about business. That's why a lot of men can make the sales that some women cannot, because they have a
That's it.
relation, whether it with
That's
sports, it's golf, it's basketball, it's football, but you have to be aware of the settings. And so when I had to start dealing with decision makers, I made sure I paid attention to what's important to them, because what's important to them is
right.
what they have hanging up: their degrees,
That's
golf
it.
balls,
That's
basketballs, their family
that's
pictures, whatever,
yep.
whatever
That's
is
you
never
got it.
good.
Like you just said it. Like that is it. And it's, if like you said, you don't have to be good, but you need to be well versed to have those conversations, because once you have those conversations, you know what you're talking about, confidently having those conversations, and then let's eventually you're going to be invited out, and you're going to want to be where these people are, so you're going to make your own motivation. That's going to provide the motivation to learn and to get out there. And so when you get to that point, here we are, golf women mean business.
Hmm.
So yeah.
And so,
Yep.
I started out going out with my boyfriend at the time. For Mother's Day, he
Hmm.
bought me some women's golf clubs because I was short. And
Oh, oh yeah, I was going to say, how tall are you? Yes.
5'2". And so
Yep.
then when we started playing and having fun, and I got serious about it, then that's when I hired a golf coach to teach me how to
That's it.
hold, to teach me why my ball was
Hmm.
veering off right or veering left. When to use the
Absolutely.
putter, when to use a wood, when to use an iron. What is a putter, an iron, a wood? You know what I'm saying? Even those
Yes.
people that go to putt putt things, I think I should have did that more, of going to those putt putt type
Hmm.
things with a putter, because my putter game
Oh
sucked. But I could
yeah.
drive.
Go.
Oh, girl, but I could drive that ball clear across the world. But
So that works in that. Let's talk about that. That's an asset for a female, because a lot of women can't drive. But if a man, I don't want to say a man, and mostly men, because they're the ones that hit the ball really hard. In golf, women get the advantage. And if men will are able to find a female that can drive the ball, like Miss Tara here, they will be on your phone wanting you to play all the time. You're getting invited back. And then when you're getting these invitations, that's your time to shine. That's your time to say, okay, I can hit the ball, but let's talk about this here too. Not in that
mhm,
way, but you get the
sure.
opportunity to be in their space, because you have something to offer that has impressed them. And like you just said, things on their wall, golf is important to them. I can hit it hard. You want me on your team? Let's talk. And it just provides like this instant connection and
Connection.
friendship. So I know, just based on you saying that I know you've been very successful there.
Absolutely. I mean, there was this one guy that we're still really good friends, and he loves playing golf. And I went out and agreed with him. And I told him, look, I love golf. I can hit that ball to forever, but my putter
Mm-hmm.
game is crazy. My putter game sucks. And I'm not really that
Mm-hmm.
good at golf. I'm still learning. I'm still practicing. He was like, no problem. As long as you can drive the ball, I got everything else.
Thank you for
And we went
saying that.
out and
I
we
didn't even
played. We went out and played, and I was on his team, and I was the one that drove. I hit that ball. I did the drove,
Yep,
and he was like,
yep,
"I'm calling you every time we're having teams," and we're friends
that's it.
until today. And I did get some really good business from him as well, and he referred business to
There we
me.
go. Amen. Why wouldn't he? Right, right. And it's this thing where it doesn't necessarily apply to women, but there is a thing once you start to want to compete, higher. It's you drive for show and putt for dough. So we're gonna have to work on your
My
putting
putter,
game, and I got you there.
yeah.
But look, you did some, and I tell people do something well if you're gonna play on those
Mhm,
teams, and you drove the ball well, and
mhm,
I'm so glad you shared that. I didn't even have to
mhm.
tell anybody. Thank you.
Yeah, but
Look,
and it
this is your
wasn't.
show, but thank you.
But it wasn't that I just, got the iron, the wood and was really good at it. I had to practice. Like that became
Yeah,
my downtime that I practice. And again, it really
absolutely.
helped. The driving range was my friend. That was my gym because my job made me so frustrated that I just imagined those
Yep.
that ball being faces of those people that got on my nerves. And that's how my
Oh, that
driving
makes it
game
a
got really good because I hit the hell out of them babies. And then
yes.
after
Turn lip. That's why you do lemonade. Yes.
that was my woosah, don't judge me.
I'm not mad about it at all.
That
Yes.
is how
Good.
golf became my friend. Absolutely.
Amen. Work how
So
it's supposed to. Good
what are
job.
some other ways that golf and business go hand in hand or some strategies to get the business to build the relationship with the decision makers?
There's a lot of women. They like to join, let's just say a organization like mine or anyone, or even a golf course. And then it's like, okay, I'm in golf now. Where are the contracts? Bring them on, and it doesn't work like that. It's very much the opposite. And golfers pick up on that. And so I'm answering your question, but I'm also trying to like explain
Mhm.
that too. People that play golf, decision makers, they're in these roles for a reason, and they can pick up on those things very quickly. If you're just here to get something, that's not how golf works. So then that's also a strategy that you have to know about if you're going to use golf for business. Who do you contact and how do you contact each person? What do you need to be good at? What do you need to not be so worried about? Do you get in the weeds on this? Do you get in the weeds on that? So it's a whole plethora of things when it comes to combining those two. Not impossible, but there's a strategy there.
But I like the way you compared it, with the golf bag, is that there's several different, and there are, because I still remember, I think it was a 7 iron.
Hmm.
Is it the 7 iron? I think I use that
That's my
for everything. That was my favorite
yep.
one. I used it for everything, right? But there were certain situations where that would not work. It would not work for the
Yep.
putter. It would not work really. I could use it to drive, but there are certain situations I could not get myself out of. So I had to learn how to use other tools in my bag. And then I had to learn how to use them, how to hold it, how to, hold it steady, how to swing. That was the biggest thing of learning how to swing, right? And it's the same thing
Yep.
in business that you may be good at something and it may work for you all the time, but it may get to a point where it's not going
Mhm.
to get you out of a situation or get you into a situation if you're using the same 7 iron, right? You might need to,
Yes.
use the putter. You may need to use the 3 wood. You might need to use different tools. And so in business, you're going to
Hmm.
have to learn how to do that. It's very similar. And then I also love the fact that you
Hmm.
said, it just doesn't work that way. Golfers can smell well, decision makers can smell
Yes.
desperation. They can
Yes.
smell
Yes.
desperation if you're just out in the golf range to get a deal, right? So if you just say,
Hmm.
"Oh, let's go out and play," and they ask you, "So what's your handicap?" and you don't know what it is, or you get out there and you
Yeah.
don't tell them you suck, and you really suck and
Yeah.
you don't know how to hit the ball, you keep missing the ball, they're going to know that, and it's going to be embarrassing. You're going to lose more business than anything because decision
Yeah.
makers talk to other decision makers.
Golfer, and it gets smaller. The world gets smaller as you go into the golf course, so you kind of,
Mm,
you don't want to develop that reputation. And to be honest, my first book was based on conversations on the golf course, and it came from
mm.
me playing with someone. It was two decision makers, and it was myself and another lady. And hole number one, this lady started pulling out newspaper clippings and magazine
What?
articles, trying to tell the people what she does with her business. And I'm just like, and the lady, was it later? One of them came to talk to me. I was like, I just have to stay on it. I can't focus. And decision makers, especially the higher ones, they don't speak like that to people they don't know. But this lady had really worked the nerves, and you can't,
Wow.
that's just not how it goes, and it's
Mm-mm.
not a, and that's why I was a little confused about the barrier that exists for people in golf or trying to get into golf. I'm like, is it a real barrier, or do you just have unrealistic expectations? But then how do
Mm.
you know they're unrealistic? You have to, it's
Mm.
just so many things you have to break down. And a lot of people don't have the time for that, don't have the want to, whatever. And then they just kind of go
Mhm.
on, which keeps a lot of people out of out of golf, out of opportunities
Mhm.
because of all the things it takes and all the little nuances. So I
Mhm.
understand, but I mean, if you can get some consistent work, invest the time,
Right.
invest it up front, and then golf is for life. You can play till
It,
you're
it
99, 120 years old.
absolutely. And if you're a dualpreneur, you're sustain. You have that disposable income that you can hire a coach. Like I tell people,
Oh,
you need a business coach. You need someone to teach you how to do business. You need to teach someone to teach you how to play golf, and you need someone to teach you how to play chess. Now,
yes.
if you can get someone that's successful that can teach you how to do those three things, you're set for life. Because
For
chess
life.
is going to teach you how to strategize. It's going to work your brain to teach you how to think differently about life, business, and everything. Golf is going to
Mm-hmm.
teach you how to talk to people and build relationships, because that's what you're doing on the
Mm-hmm.
course. You're building relationship. Even on the first game, if you don't talk about business at all, but you do
It's fine.
good on the course and you establish a bond, they're going to invite you out. And eventually that
Right.
conversation is going to be, now, what do you do? Because now
Yes.
they like
Yes.
you and they trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And knowing how to do
Yep.
business right and not lose all your money. So that's, to me,
Yep.
that's why golf is so important.
Yes. Especially for you hit it on the head, especially for dualpreneurs. Because a lot of
Mhm.
entrepreneurs are just not sure. Like we entrepreneurs were like, okay, return on investment. I'm gonna invest this. How long is it gonna take to get back? And we kind of stick to these timelines. But and which is not, that's business. It is what it is. And if you don't have that extra, you may not be able to invest that time and effort into golf. But then as a dualpreneur, yeah, that needs to be definitely in your budget, and just a part of your salary. Put it in there and say this much goes to golf. And then once you decide to jump off into entrepreneurship, you're ready.
Absolutely. And I started out just, how much, tea time, paying for tea time, investing in
Yes.
investing in clubs, a starter clubs, you know what I'm saying? Investing in the
Mhm.
gear, because I started practicing and playing for fun, just whatever. But then when I started getting serious, then I invested in a coach to teach me how to play golf the right way. I was hitting the ball, but it
Right.
kept veering off to the right, veering off to the left, or I keep missing the ball and I didn't know why I was missing the ball. I kept hurting myself,
Hmm.
because you can
Hmm.
swing and you can pull something in your back, and then that's the end of it. Been there, done that.
I yes, 100% still do it sometimes. So yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
Don't do that. So investing in the coach, investing in that was investing in myself, because I
Right.
invest in the church in the coach. And because, like, to this day, I will play like I'm golfing if I get stressed out. And
Hmm.
I will hold my hands like I'm holding a golf club, and I would just
Okay.
practice that swing or whatever. Um, and that's just, I grip my fingers, I hold it like that, and that just helps me psychologically just get ready. So when I go back there, now I do need to get back on the golf course because I miss it so much.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if you want to get in front of decision makers, or if you are around decision makers and you want them to notice you and listen to you, golf is the way to go.
Golf is there. Golf is
So
there.
tell
I tell
people, tell us about women, Golf Women Mean Business. What is that organization? You just teach women how to play golf. You have events. What is it that you do?
Yes, so we have a membership. The membership is more for people who want to kind of do things slowly. We'll have group lessons and things like that, and then we also have the online training. And I will say, more of your executives they don't want to show up clueless. A lot of your executives, they
Mhm,
need to know what's going on before they get there. And that's anybody. A lot of people don't want to be embarrassed, but especially your executives.
mhm,
And so because of that, we modeled our training around that. So a lot of our things, understanding the rules, the terminology, and all those things, we do that online. You don't even have to leave your house. We do it online, and then we'll come together at the golf course and then work on the swing part because it's 50% swinging, 50% understanding. We do them both. And so we do that as a group with the members. And then we also offer for non-members, we call golf intensive. So it's a 1 day intensive. It's about 5 or 6 hours. But we go through everything on 1 day. It's definitely a lot. It's kind of high level though. It's not really you're not going on tour after you get through with this intensive, but it's really opening the door in your mind to understand what the expectations are for golf. And then you're also learning how to swing the club and you're learning some of the technology. So it's like a high level intensive, 1 day intensive. And then we have one-on-one trainings. Some people want a 60-day, I'm sorry, 90-day training versus 6-month training. We offer those as well. We do events. We have a nonprofit, which is the Golf Women Mean Business Foundation, where we're bringing golf to kids. The youth,
mhm.
a lot of their parents may not know how to get their kids into golf, just like a lot of adults don't know how to get into golf. So we bring it to kids as well. And then we also support golfers who are in college. We provide scholarships for them because I had 36 golf scholarship offers. I didn't take any. I know we can talk about that over drinks, but I understand the money that people need to have to play golf in college because not a lot of them are 100%. And so we support the youth as well in the foundation. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm a
us.
little mad. I'm a little mad that you did not take those 36 scholarships in golf.
I know. I get that, but okay, so let me tell you a little story. I know we got maybe a few minutes, 1 minute maybe, but here's a 25-second explanation. I played golf all my life. I didn't see any women. I played or girls played with all old men. They were able to smoke cigars. I couldn't smoke cigars, whatever, but I was with them. So I'm like, if I'm gonna be here with you, they saved my lungs. I'm thankful, but at the time, it just wasn't fun for me. And then I'm from the country, so in my mind, the world looked like my little town, and I wasn't going to sign up for something where I don't see other girls and be miserable. It wasn't misery, but I didn't have friends growing up because I was always with the men on the golf course. So there we go. We didn't even have to have drinks for that.
We do, because I don't see anything wrong with being around men.
Yeah, at the time, like now. But yeah, at the time it was
Oh,
not fun. But
okay, that's the
you
story of
never had girlfriends.
that's the story of why she gave up 36 golf scholarships, because she didn't want to be around men. Okay, girl, please. Anyway, and look,
I
and she got nerve to be married to a fine husband. Ain't that something?
I'm
Okay,
just saying, I
you were trying
mean,
you were just trying to save yourself for him, wasn't it?
that's what it was. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and he's not a golfer, so yeah, he plays a little bit, but he's not a golfer, so it
He
works
don't
for
have
me.
to be. He got you. And there's
Amen.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, so how can everybody, if people want to learn more about golf, become a member, get an understanding, donate to the foundation,
Yeah.
how can people find you, Miss Patrina King?
Yes. So I'm on LinkedIn, Patrina King. I'm on we're on Facebook Twitter, not really Twitter. I'll say Facebook and Instagram. It's Golf Women Mean Business. The website is golfwomenmeanbusiness.com. And then on the foundation side is gwmbfoundation.org. But you can also find information about the foundation on the Golf Women Mean Business website as well. So that's me,
Awesome. So
golfwomenmeanbusiness.com.
So if you want to know how to leverage golf or learn if you want to learn how to learn or play golf and then how to leverage it for your side business to get to those decision
Right.
makers, make sure you go to golfwomenmeanbusiness.com. Patrina King, thank you so much for giving us this insight and
You.
this strategy of getting next to decision owners. Again, I see no problem with being around a whole bunch of men. I just is one of the reasons why I really like golf, but okay. All right,
Now,
everyone. Now and then, whatever. So, thank you everyone for tuning in and for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for our next episode of the DUALpreneur Podcast.